Hi guys, this is Lindsay Skredenske from the Women's Creative. Christina Weaver, our co-founder, and I just finished an awesome episode with SEO Bucket List. I would love for you to go listen to it now just to hear about the events we're doing, what we're focusing on. It's isolating to be a business owner, so we shared some of our tips and resources that we have, but it was a blast. So please go listen.
Welcome back to the STL Bucket List Show. I am your host, Marissa Farrell.
And I'm your other host, Luke Farrell. And we have another great episode here at Half Coast Studios. My guy, Matt, in the back on the ones and twos, producing an amazing episode for us so that we can put it out on Spotify, Google, Apple, YouTube, everywhere you get podcasts. And I can't thank them enough for producing an amazing episode. And then also our friends over at the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis. They are the largest public funder of arts and arts programs right here in St. Louis. And if you didn't know, they just had a huge announcement that they're raising their grants to $10 million for 2023. So that's $10 million going directly to art programs and organizations in St. Louis. So
Thank you,
when you support art, you support St. Louis.
So thank you guys again so much for tuning in to another episode. And this week we have two very special ladies from the Women's Creative. You may have heard of it. We have Lindsay Skredenske and Christina Weaver. Did I get the name
You did it right. That's great.
Thank you guys for coming in today.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
So we're going to talk all things Women's Creative. And so let's just kind of kick it off with how the concept was developed.
Yeah, I guess I can kind of start there.
I learn so much every time she tells a story.
About 6 years ago or so, I was running a ethical fashion boutique all online and had a series of salespeople who were just incredible women from the community who would go out to different markets and pop-up shops and sell the product. And one of those women, Julie, Johnson started with a group of friends just doing women only pop-up events, and they grew really, really fast. And Julie's incredible. She does like all these different things. And she came to me one day. It was just like, I do not want to be a market maven. Like, this is not for me. I'm not interested in like growing this, but it's growing so fast and the community apparently needs it. Would you take it over? And she approached me and one other woman, and we did, and we bought it from her and grew it from there. And then, over time, we brought in a third person who was essentially a business coach. So what ended up happening was we'd run these markets, and we really liked for them to be great, varied shopping experiences for the community. So we'd be selective about the brands that we brought in. And what would happen is a lot of people would, if we said no to them, they'd be like, "What? Why? Why wouldn't you let us into your market?" And we had to tell them like, well, you don't have a website, you don't have a brand or a social media, or, consistent product and all of that. And so we started creating resources for women to help teach them how to do the things that they needed to do to get into our markets. And so that's kind of how the like membership portion of our work and the business development portion really built. And then from there, we just built community and provided networking opportunities and encouraged women to collaborate and to grow their businesses side by side. So it wasn't quite so solopreneuring, can be very lonely. And and our events continue to grow. So that happened. Went online during the pandemic.
Okay.
And and then it always was just very part-time. And so until about a year ago, it was very part-time, just events and helping, doing some workshops and things on the side. And then everything changed last October.
Wow.
That's amazing.
So you're a pandemic baby too. Almost everyone we've talked to is like a pandemic baby, like that they've like really come out and grown so much during that time. Isn't that crazy?
I just think it's a testament to St. Louis. Like people, when they see a need or a problem, they want to solve it. And I think like that's the St. Louis story.
That is the St. Louis story.
That's
I would
amazing.
agree with that 100%.
So to piggyback off St. Louis, you talk about community so much, and we love community, and we've built this digital community, but it's turned into live events, and we love it. We love to see people that interact with our stuff, and they're like, hey, that helped me, because you don't get that same type of feeling through a DM message where they're like, oh, that restaurant was good, thanks for the recommendation. It's different when somebody sees you and like, hey, me and my girlfriend or me and my boyfriend go to every place that you post on Fridays and stuff like that. So tell us about how important community is with the Women's Creative, because you guys have a team. I am jealous of how like strong your team is.
It is.
It's nice. It's inspiring.
We love our team.
We really, really, really do.
It's so
and we're growing all the time, and it's amazing to have like an incredible team culture that attracts like similarly excellent people. And I think we do so much because like we just have such a tight knit, supportive team of women who are working on it. So, I mean, culture starts with the very core of the business, which is definitely our team. And so caring for each other and being that like people first. And for me, like I feel like my job as a founder isn't even necessarily to come up with ideas. It's literally just to care for my team. And so I do, it's not that I don't do a lot. I mean, I'm working on the business every single day and pouring into it, but at least half of my time, if not more, is pouring into my team. Yeah. And I'm really here for them. And so that is really where like that kind of spirit of care and invitation. So those are kind of the two things we talk about most as we're building community is like, how do we pour care into the people that we work with and really consider them first? And then how do we constantly invite and be a very open and inviting, place for people to be and hopefully feel welcoming. It's been a roller coaster this year. So I hope that everyone's had that experience in every event, but
we always say we like to think of like, what is like, when we're thinking of the table, who do we want to be at our table? If we're going to host a dinner, and we just want that table to be filled with like-minded, also different-minded, like women, men, and just everyone across the board, because we're the Women's Creative and we want to build up and support women because they need it. But we also, there's a place for men here. There's a place for men at our table.
For allies and we try really to kind of push into that analogy or kind of the concept of like all being at a table because it leans into the concept of hospitality. And like, I mentioned care, but also just really creating like fun, engaging experiences so that every interaction people have with us, they walk away feeling seen and heard and like having enjoyed that experience.
You guys are like the watering pot for all your flowers, like just growing everyone. So you mentioned how like women a lot. So I just wanted to ask, like, why was it so important for the business to be powered by women?
So we have always been the Women's Creative. I think when we first started about 6 years ago, there really was basically nothing, very, very little for women who were founding businesses. There was a lot for women who were in, corporate America. And so just being this place for creatives was really important. We have, our title says like the Women's Creative, but we do try to be pretty like as gender inclusive in our actual practice as possible. There are certain things that we do where we really are we're trying to build up and draw attention to women and prioritize them. We do really feel like, women in many, many ways, like wear sometimes more hats, not always, but sometimes more hats traditionally than men. And so we see them starting these businesses and lots of times they're side hustles and they support income, like they support their families and they provide like that little bit of extra income that they might need for whatever it is that they need, or it gives them a little bit of flexibility where they may have not had it before. And so I do, we prioritize women for a lot of reasons, but one of those is to hopefully continue to empower and build the community. But really we're here for like small creative businesses that are, kind of growing. And because we really feel like, those small businesses are what grow our local economies. They're what, put in many ways our city on the map. They're what make it charming and different. And so celebrating that creativity is really important to us.
But it can be really isolating to be those small business owners. And we always say that, like, we're here to be your partner, your teammate. We're here to be your cheerleader. And so for our community of women that we work with, we're giving them resources, but we're also giving them shopping opportunities to connect with people. But we know this just as founders of companies, it's so isolating because sometimes you don't know you have a problem and you feel like you have to solve it on your own. Yeah. And that's just not the case.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
He can relate to that a lot. He's always, there's not always a mentor you can go to. You're just kind of figuring it out as you go. And if it flops or something doesn't work out, well, you take that as a learning experience of, we're not going to do it this way next time. And
right. Yeah. But it's nice to go to people first that have already failed,
That's
and
right.
that's like, you guys have all failed, and you can teach these, younger, older, it doesn't matter how old they are. If they're starting a business, you're like, hey, well, I've done this. Let me help you with this on your website. Let me help you. Cause like these little things can like increase income. And if it's as little as $500 extra a month, that can change the trajectory of a business. So.
It really can.
I want to talk about the memberships and what's included with that, since you're talking so much about, well, we might not accept you right now, but let's get you call it a toolbox, right? Like what are the resources that you have in your toolbox? Like what's included with the membership?
So it's constantly evolving.
Awesome.
It's different than it was a year ago.
And it's different than it was on Friday.
That's good though. That's good.
Different than it was Friday.
Trying to figure it out.
And we're just, like what we try to listen to our members and listen to the community and see what they need. And so we do have a core group of members, and those members, they get access to a virtual app, which gives them, we have a multi-level curriculum based on marketing, admin, goal setting, etc. But I think one of the greatest benefits is just connecting these women with other people. Again, like helping them solve problems. So right now we're running some peer groups where it's small groups of 5 to 7 women. They all identify like their pain point, their problem, and over 12 weeks together, they help solve them. And I'm leading to right now, and that is the highlight of my week. I just came from running one where during the meeting, we wrote press releases. They wrote press releases, and we actually sent them today.
Nice.
Like we physically sent them to media, individualized. It's really nice because they're all walking away with individualized content that they've worked on together. So peer groups, it's access to the app. And then we also are connecting them to experts when it makes sense. Okay. So to help them solve their problems, because we don't have all the answers.
Yeah. So we'll provide like working lunch, like Zoom opportunities with bankers or business coaches or a variety of other resources to help answer questions and like kind of crowdsource knowledge. The nice thing about so Lindsay's our director of community care. So she really like runs that membership service. And the nice thing about having someone who works on it all the time is that we kind of meet our members where they're at. And so no matter what, when you join, you like have access to our directory on the front of our website, and you have this like app that you can download on your phone with all these resources that you have access to, but also you mostly have you also have our ear. So it gives you the opportunity to like say, hey, this is what I really need.
Right.
And we have the ability to kind of make pivots and adjustments and additions to what we're doing to support that.
It's amazing.
So how easy is it for you to get the experts? Like what's that process like of pulling people? Where are you getting
the St. Louis community is incredible. Like we often have more than...
They come to us sometimes.
They do.
Because they want to help.
How can we help? Like we sometimes have more people than we have time for. So, it's
all good problems, right?
Here for it.
Yeah, and there's just some incredible experience and resources, especially in like the marketing PR area in St. Louis. That we really like have been able to lean on.
Wow.
And it's like we have bankers and CPAs and lawyers that all just want to support these small businesses because just like us, they know that they're the future of our economy. They're the future of St. Louis.
Yeah.
That's inspiring. It's inspiring that people it's something, you guys are building something that people want to be a part of. And like, I can feel it when I walk into your store.
You guys too, though. Like bucket list.
Truly.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And people do want to be a part of it. And that's what I wanted to build. I wanted to build a company that is cool and fun and people want to do it. Even if it's a lot of volunteering, like we volunteer our time to do a lot of the stuff.
You know
like
that. I know that feeling.
We're not over here profiting. We have to have other businesses. And I know you have another business. Like we all have to have other things, and she's a full-time teacher. So, but no, you guys are building something inspiring. And my favorite thing you guys do is these events. These events are amazing. Thanks. We post them all the time because we're like, we always need
all
content.
Of your support.
We'll always post.
Thank you. We like those like marketing partners for what we do, because it's just like no one of us has a big enough voice to get the word out.
Right.
And so it's been amazing to have you guys and other local partners who have really cheered on these events.
Yeah.
Of course.
So tell us more about the events,
Yeah.
because I know you have the winter market coming up.
I want to know your favorite event, and then we're gonna get into some of the others. But you've done wellness events, you do workshops, you're doing what we have the winter market, like Luke said, coming up. But what's your favorite event?
Ooh, what's your favorite?
Oh my gosh. So it's actually really funny because I don't know that it was our best received event this year, but my favorite event that we do is Breathe, our wellness event. I don't know that we're necessarily going to bring it back next year, but I think it's such a phenomenal opportunity for people to connect with wellness practitioners. And so basically what we do is we just like bring in wellness practitioners from the community, and you buy a ticket to attend the event, and then you get to experience 6 to 8, sometimes more, like wellness opportunities that you could access in the community that you may not have known about before.
And there are multiple tracks. So you could say, I want to focus on this area
focus
of
on mental
wellness.
health. If you want to focus
really
on
nice.
skincare or fitness, we bring those people in. And so I just think it's one of the most unique events, and it's an incredible opportunity. As like a very busy person, I have a hard time fitting in like that level of self-care.
Yeah.
And those are always like, selfishly, they're always my favorite times because I'm like, oh, okay, I found this new like naturalist or esthetician or whatever,
Or yoga
instructor.
class
Yes,
or whatever.
exactly.
Yeah.
You're like,
I found a chiropractor
insanity.
she focuses on mental health in her practice too.
Yeah.
St. Louis is just full of really cool, creative, like wellness practitioners. We don't often talk about them. Like we're so focused on restaurants and little retailers. And so I love that event. Date night was insanely well received this year, and like huge shout out to Union Station for just jumping into that concept with us, because it was a big, like, we don't know how this is going to go. And so that was really, really fun. And then we've always done these vendor markets. We are decidedly moving in a little bit more luxury direction with them, and we're really excited about that. I feel like really, really highly curated shopping experiences where like I feel so comfortable in our shop. If you come to City Foundry and you walk in, like I know you're going to want probably half the things that sit in that store.
I do.
Yes.
Easily.
I mean, I think I spend my entire paycheck there.
The biggest Procure customers.
It's amazing and constant. And like what's great about the shop staff is you guys are constantly bringing in new vendors and like always. And also you're giving, this is something that's probably interesting too, is that you guys might not know, but you're giving advice to those vendors that are in the shop. And like letting them know what's selling, what's not, so they can also pivot too, which is really great.
We are. So I guess going back to events, that like kind of winter market is going to be like a little bit higher curated event than Procure Market has been this year.
Okay.
We're putting it in new locations, so we're really excited about that. We're going to be at Olive and Oak and Webster Groves, and then also kind of engaging all the really awesome Webster brick and mortar stores in partnership with the hopefully with the city of Webster Groves. They're excited to support us. So
that is so exciting.
yeah, so that's going to be
That'll be a
happening
really
Sunday,
cute
December
area in
8th.
the
It's
winter,
going to be
too.
awesome.
It's
Do
Yeah.
people
Perfect
just
neighborhood,
apply
perfect
online
size.
if they want to be a vendor for that? Okay.
Yes, and I just gave the wrong date. It's December 4th. I'm like all
I have
confused.
December,
So
okay, so I wrote down December
yes, you're
4th,
correct.
Yeah.
You got
17th.
it.
You're right.
Yes. So the
Okay.
17th and 18th, we're trying another new location.
Oh.
So we have been working with Maxine Clark on a concept to support Del Mar Divine for about 6 months. And she really felt like Winter Market was the right fit. And so this is their first like public event where they're really welcoming people inside the space. And we are really, really
Oh my
excited
gosh,
to
I'm
work
going.
with them.
Yeah, it's gonna be
Yes.
so great.
So it's going to be all day Saturday and Sunday, December 17th and 18th. We're going to do a bunch of really cool, there'll be a gift wrapping station and a charitable component. And we're going to have some local music, some really great local bars and food trucks. And it's going to be just like a really great local shopping kind of festival party.
Yeah.
And for that neighborhood, it's going to be great too, because like what Maxine's doing there, we've toured it, and it's just awesome what she's doing there.
And I can't wait to see everything when it's like when the deli's in and just
Oh my
everything.
gosh.
Yeah.
It's so great. Maxine's a powerhouse. She
She's
was our
the
very
bomb.
first guest.
Yes.
We're like, where do we go from here?
I know.
She's the best.
Yeah, she's
Her energy is really electric, and we've been so grateful for her just partnership and interest in supporting what we're doing. So I think that's going to be really, really fun. So we'll be in Webster Groves on December 4th, and then Del Mar Divine the 17th and 18th, and we'll be bringing like a lot of great local shopping to some different neighborhoods.
That is
So-
so cool.
An event that is still a little, it feels a little insidery that like the public may not know, but it's one of my favorites. So Christina and I have been hosting these Stronger Than Coffees every Thursday morning.
Yeah.
They're so fun.
It is so fun.
It's what's great about it is it's a Zoom event where anybody can pop in and talk about their business, talk about what's new with them, ask questions. Like anybody, we had someone pop in from Bulgaria.
wow.
Like
did.
it
Someone
was
else from
crazy.
Yemen.
Yeah. We're like,
Yemen, yeah.
It was really cool.
we've made it.
Yeah.
But I
The
love
reach.
that. Yeah. I love it because it's people who maybe never would have met otherwise. They just get to listen and get free advice. So it really goes back to that, just community building and answering questions and helping people solve problems. It's so fun.
It's great. It's 8 a.m. Central Time every Thursday morning. People just jump in, even for a few minutes, for about 30 minutes. You know, the whole thing's about 30 minutes long. And it's just a great time for us to touch base and for people to be like, this is where I'm at and it's really hard. Or this is my win this week. I just need to celebrate it with a community.
Those are my favorites.
Yeah, me too. And so we just get to cheer people on, and that is a really fun event. Yeah, it's been a nice way to just touch base with our community.
I love it. I saw that on the on your Instagram, because your highlights, they're just updated. It's like every little event. Like,
I know.
you can just
Bianca's
see
on.
That's me. Yeah.
She's on it. Go ahead, Bianca. Go ahead, girl.
No, like when we say we have a good team, they're
They're the best.
They are. They're
Oh my
killers.
Yeah, so, we are on a little bit of a time constraint, but I want to get to St. Louis, So St. Louis, we talk about bucket list spots. So tell us some of your favorite spots to go to in St. Louis. I know everybody was kind of excited about you guys coming on because you are the Women's Creative. They're like, where are these best businesses for me to support? Where are the best restaurants?
Okay.
And I know you don't have to feel bad if you leave some out. Just say a couple of your favorite that you guys like to go to or you frequent a lot.
Here for that. Okay.
I'm ready.
My mouth has been watering lately because I recently went to Katie's Pizza and Pasta, and I got her squid ink pasta.
Yes.
Yeah,
that's
it's my favorite.
It
That's
was
what I get.
unctuous, like salty, savory. It was the best pasta I've had in a long time. And then over the weekend I had a baby, or 2 weekends ago I had a baby shower, and Amy's Cake Pop, she did these really cute animal print cake pops, and they're just delicious. So she doesn't put icing in her cake pop, so they're just like a little bit more fluffy and ooey gooey than most. So
Okay,
those
I'm
are two of
really
my
hungry
favorite.
now.
I'm starving.
Ooey gooey. She said ooey gooey.
And unctuous. These are like very excellent.
you.
Hey, when food comes up, we talking. We're talking.
Grammarly approves my words.
Okay, excellent. All right, well, I'll keep going with food, and I can say Rain at Sweet Art kills it for me every time.
Yes, she does.
Brandy from Simply Delicious in Four Hens is one of our good friends. She's incredible. It's been a while since I've been out there, but Mary at Yoklor kills it every time. I crave. She has this like, I personally think it's one of the best breakfasts in St. Louis, although Ari at Morning Glory probably has her pretty close, because both of them are phenomenal. Yoklor has this like egg dish. I can't remember the name of it, but she puts like pickled onions and things on top of it, and it's like to die for.
Yeah, just all the flavors
this, like,
together.
Crust. Yeah, it's incredible.
Making a reservation
We're all
right now.
we're all going quickly to dinner.
No, you don't even drive through.
Oh, drive.
Even
Brilliant.
better.
That's
the
even
convenience.
That is
The
so convenient.
Like
convenience.
excellent breakfast drive-through.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we could go on and on with food for sure, but I don't know. There's some phenomenal, just like local women boutiques. And then a lot of like really, really interesting spaces that are opening up. So I know like Tiffany at Pure Vibes is opening just moved her spa to City Foundry, and she's phenomenal. That business concept is really unique. It's actually a co-op. And she's done incredible things with her team, and the products that they're producing are incredible. I love some of we talked about Webster, some of the women who have just so long-term been building like really cool St. Louis staples in that part of town. I mean, Mary Beth and Sarah at Union Studio are kind of in the city and out there, and they're just incredible. Really, I don't know, grateful for some of those like ladies who are doing some just unique things with spaces. And we've noticed lately too, a lot of people are doing really cool events. So we got to connect a little bit with the Hearth and Soul team that just opened.
Oh yeah.
They're great, and they've got some really cool events that are happening in their new like beautiful space in Ladue.
Another business I've been super inspired by. She's actually in our peer group, but it's Birth Order Box. So she Courtney Klein, she does these boxes that you can order for a woman at any stage of pregnancy.
That's genius. You see that a lot for like, obviously we just got married in April, and there's like bride boxes, like cups that say Mrs. or what ring holders. So that's brilliant to do a baby box.
I think I've bought 3 at different stages for friends.
People,
It makes it easy for the consumer, but it also is an amazing gift for the person you're giving it. So you don't have to feel like you're being lazy, even if you're just like, I need a box put together and stuff like that.
So that's one that I've been really inspired by, because she created it because she realized that when she was pregnant and post-pregnancy that there wasn't anything out that for her, and she solved the problem.
Wow.
That's what the women do.
That's awesome.
Solve problems.
know.
And that's what you guys do.
Yeah.
That's what you
I'm
guys
gonna
do.
ask one more question. I think we have like another minute we can give. Any other entrepreneurs that inspire you? Like, is there anyone? I know you just named a bunch of businesses, but is there anyone specifically who inspires you?
So many.
Okay, maybe this was not a good question.
No.
Sorry.
It's a great question.
No,
There's
this
so
is
many.
really good.
Okay.
So I'm super inspired by Janae, who owns Be Lovely.
Yeah.
So speaking of wellness,
definitely.
she's a member. She's amazing. She's a lawyer by trade, I think. And she created Be Lovely as kind of like her side hustle, but it's becoming more of her full-time job.
Okay.
I have to, if we're talking kind of local, I have to shout out Kalia Collier, who is the founder and owner of The Surge, because I just think like she's a kind of a unique business owner, but has done such a phenomenal job, like becoming that. I mean, she's just such a leader, and she's kind of leaving us, but amazing leader in the St. Louis community. And The Surge is such an awesome thing to have in St. Louis. And so I think she's someone who just constantly inspires me in every conversation I have with her. I feel
She's in
really
Dallas now
challenged.
with the Mavericks. Like she's like,
she's
killing it.
she's a freaking amazing.
But we still have The Surge, so she's not leaving completely.
Well, that's amazing. But yeah, that's inspiring.
Last wellness thing. Have you been to Yes Honey?
Oh, I thought
Okay,
that
on my
too.
list to go.
You
Like,
gotta
I
go.
have been wanting to go. I've
met
been
them.
trying to
We've
drag.
had them at
Yeah,
our
we
wedding.
had them at our
Yeah.
bucket list party. But I've been wanting to like drag my girlfriend out there and like we're gonna dance.
Yeah, that's a really
Do
cool
it.
concept.
We need
So
it.
many cool,
Yes.
unique concepts that like you could just do different stuff every weekend and never get bored. Like
Studio looks so
Agreed.
cute
especially
too.
and getting healthy too. It's like you can have fun and still get healthy.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
You can
So
eat
many
good food. Like you can still eat delicious, healthy food. You can do fun, healthy activities. Yep, agreed.
Yeah.
Ooh, Forest and Meadow. They do like mocktails for wellness.
They do, and
So
they have
good.
an incredible apothecary in South City that is
Really?
this beautiful space. And Amanda and her husband Luke run it, and she just does an incredible job educating around wellness in a like just really natural, healthy context. And so she's an herbalist and is kind
So
of an
many.
amazing
We're gonna shout all these people out on the episode and tag all. Well, I wrote all of these down because we're gonna go support these businesses as well.
yeah.
So
Thank you.
How can we support you guys any further? Like, is there any like links that you can give our listeners of like people that
Where
they can go
find
share
you,
or they can
follow
support?
you.
Well, definitely consider us over the holidays for shopping at Procure at City Foundry. We're open 7 days a week, 11 to 7, and we sell for 55 different women-owned businesses in the store. In the first 2 quarters that we were open, we were able to pay out more than $150,000 to local women-owned businesses, and we're really hopeful that we were able to triple that by the end of the year. And that's our first 10 months in business.
Isn't that crazy?
Are so
You're
excited
definitely
about
on our
it.
list. I'm working on a holiday shopping guide. So you're already on our
We can knock
bucket
out
list
55
guide.
businesses at
Right
once.
there. Yeah, just go to your website.
No, it's a
click.
one-stop shop.
There
And
you
we
go.
have something for everyone. I mean, it's kids, it's men, women, all different kind
Whatever.
of age groups.
And your
So-
staff there is great. Like the staff was so awesome.
so great.
At least the
So
two we met
helpful.
there.
Phenomenal.
Yeah.
Yes.
They were
Yeah. They're
awesome.
helpful. They're passionate. They work so hard.
And they have their
So-
own business. Some of them have their own businesses.
Some of them
Yeah.
are brand partners in the store.
Yeah.
Which
That's
is
what she was saying.
awesome.
One girl
So
we met. I
cool.
wish I remembered her name. But
Another rapid fire. We're hosting Speed Networking for Hire during St. Louis Startup Week. It's November 15th, 5:30 at 18 Rails at City Foundry.
The new venue.
Yeah, it's
We're so
stunning.
excited to be there.
And it's truly so that's an event that, we realize that there's a problem out there. Like there's not a lot of women working in tech. And again, it's isolating because it's a male dominated field. So this is truly networking for women working in tech and tech adjacent.
It's a little bit
businesses.
different type of event for us. We've
Yeah.
never done just like a general hiring event.
It's gonna be so fun.
So it'll be really fun. But even if you're not normally connected to the Women's Creative, this is an awesome event to come and be part. We're really encouraging like freelancers to come and meet big corporations. We've got some really big businesses who are coming interested in hiring. And then anybody who wants to be hired in the tech or startup field, this is for you.
Perfect.
That is
Especially while people are starting to make their end of the year goals going into next year, that will be a great event to go to. So
Or just
it's
like
free. Open to the
flex your
public.
networking muscles.
and do
'cause-
that. Yeah.
Yes, we're
Spread your wings.
partnering with Keisha Mabry and Grow with Google, and we're just really excited about what she's going to do. She's like just an incredible like leader and connector, and so it'll be a really really fun event. So that's on November 15th.
5:30 p.m.
18 Rails.
18 Rails.
Well, that was amazing talking with you both. Thank you so
Thank you for
much.
having us.
And
Thanks for having us.
all of our listeners, go support the Women's Creative in all aspects. They're doing so many amazing things. It's hard to keep up with. So not a bad problem to have.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
us.
Yeah.
This was so fun.
That was.
Thank you guys again for tuning into another episode of the STL Bucket List Show. We had an amazing interview with the women's creative, Lindsay and Christina. They have it going on over there. They also host a podcast themselves. If you guys want to check that out, it is called Not There Yet, because as you know, we're not there yet.
So always room to go.
Right, absolutely. And of course, Half Coast Studios being our studio partner, allowing us to produce an amazing episode. And then our friends at the Regional Arts Commission of St. Louis for always being our #1 supporter and allowing us to have neon signs in the office and big lights and cameras and all this cool stuff that makes a great episode. So we'll see you guys next Wednesday.
Thanks, guys.